UFO alert. Siberian mountain collapses and Putin takes special steps. What is going on? Vladimir Putin has drafted in soldiers to investigate a collapsed mountain, quote-unquote, in a remote region of Siberia, amid suggestions it may have been caused by a UFO crash landing. This is by Karen McGrath on Express UK, and this is the video given by the Russian pilots over the area. It's not an avalanche, as you can see here. It's rock that has been sort of pulverized, it looks like. This is not an avalanche, this is rock. So whatever the cause, the event resulted in a massive rockfall which has blocked the nearby Bureya River and left several villages at risk of flooding. So much rock was shifted it would fill 13,600 Olympic-sized swimming pools. This is what the experts claim. So in the meanwhile, the falling 34 million cubic meters of debris, 34 million cubic meters, left a gash in the mountain which could swallow up all the water used if every American showered at the same time. The Russian army has been dispatched to the scene to try and find out what caused the catastrophic event and moved a 525-foot-high mound of rock, pulverized that is, it didn't move it, which has substantially blocked the Bureya River, with village in the Khabarovsk and Amur regions at risk of flooding. The military has been tasked with removing the mountain, the rubble, using explosives and equipment to allow the water to flow again. Experts warn nearby rock is fracturing and a second gargantuan landslide is not ruled out. The Defense Ministry source said a group of specialists is en route to conduct reconnaissance work at the site where the rocks fell some 1,280 feet onto the valley floor. The source also said, given the significant size of the landslide, units of engineers and railway forces with special equipment, as well as army and transport aviation, will be involved in clearing all this. Plans are being drawn up for the evacuation of 400 people from villages of Chegunda, Ust-Urgal, and Elga. The flooding could also disrupt a 3,000-mile-long Baikal-Amur mainline rail link, which is vital link between the Siberian interior and the Russian east coast, unless the army can unblock all this river quickly. To complicate matters further, a hydroelectricity station is also threatened because water is drying up in the Bureykaska hydropower reservoir located downstream. Russia also sent in teams of geomorphologists, geologists, hydrologists, land surveyors to assess the carnage, which seems to have happened December 11, reported the Siberian Times. Alexei Maslov, head of Verkhe-Burenska district, where this thing happened, said, "We're trying to find the explanation for the incident. I insist that it was a meteorite," he said. But the local poll in eastern Russia suggested while the 27% agreed with this assessment, more than 33% believed a UFO was the cause. Now embedded here is the Chelyabinsk meteorite that fell into the Siberia region. It seems to be getting a lot of celestial body activity there. Professor Dave Petley, Vice President for Research and Innovation at University of Sheffield, as an expert in the science of landslides, dismissed both ideas. He explained that the mountain slope above Bureya had a pre-existing tension crack or depression at an altitude of around 1,900 feet, and he said we can say that it is certainly a rock slope failure and that it's highly unlikely to be associated with a meteor impact event. Professor Petley admitted it was slightly surprising that the fall occurred in winter when the ground was frozen rather than at a warmer time of the year, because that's not supposed to happen. He warned local conditions showed, quote, there may be a larger failure yet to come, creating the potential for an even bigger landslide. Hunters who first reached the scene, alerted by a sudden and inexplicable change in the flow of the river, reported hot rocks, on which they could warm their hands. Well, that's very unexplainable. Their initial guess was that the mayhem had been caused by a meteorite strike, even though there were no reports at the time of a space rock hitting the Russian Far East in December. Siberia has been the site of a number of meteor strikes over the years. As we know, the 2013 meteor was famously pictured over the city of Chelyabinsk in western Siberia. It lit up the sky and exploded at an altitude of 20 miles. And of course, nobody saw that coming. Decades before this, in the turn of the century, 1908, the so-called Tunguska event flattened 770 square miles of forest in a remote part, again, of central Siberia. Theories about the cause of that explosion have ranged from a meteor, comet, and once again a UFO crash landing, with the mystery compounded by the lack of any visible impact crater. Meanwhile, a 269-foot wide asteroid is predicted to narrowly miss Earth tomorrow. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece. in Capota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.